Huh. I think the shaking stopped.
Hey guys, it's John.
And Kimmy. And the gnome. Look, he does have a hat. It's a gnome. It's not Santa.
Welcome to the final part of our playthrough of 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. We will be seeing the true ending in this episode, and we'll be wrapping up our experience with the game. We'll be talking about it at the end, because Kimmy will probably have questions. I will try my best to answer them. And also, I'll talk about my interpretations of the ending and some misinterpretations I've seen online. Typical stuff that we generally do, you know, with the Danganronpa series and everything.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And stay tuned to the end for a special announcement. A lot of you guys missed the announcement for this playthrough at the end of V3. But all right, let's go ahead and get started.
Not that John's bitter or anything.
No, it's just whatever. I feel like I'm wasting my time. Just spinning circles. All right, let's go.
It's okay.
It would seem so, but we are yet to be out of danger. You're right. Let's hurry.
This exit needs the Uranus card, too. Hey, Junpei.
Yeah, I know.
He knows 7. Okay.
All right, it's open. Let's go.
All right.
Okay, Neptune key. Let's see if you work.
She's talking to the
I
key.
think it unlocked. It says Incinerator. So this is the Incinerator.
This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah, I think so.
Then there ought to be a lever near the door. Yeah, right here. Pull that and the door should open. Got it.
It turns on.
Yeah. We've incinerated everyone else inside.
Let's go. What the hell is going on? What's wrong? Are you okay?
Jumpy, you came to get me.
Of course I did. I made a promise.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
Hey, what happened to you?
I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very good. I'm feeling a lot better now, though.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine.
Does she have a fever?
You shouldn't worry about me.
Maybe.
Santa.
Why?
I'm just thinking about things.
Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere?
I don't have it. I got sucker punched and they took the gun.
What? Who took it?
What? Isn't that obvious?
I took the gun.
God damn it. Here we go again.
Ace.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I ought to say Gentaro Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals?
You have me at a disadvantage, and I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you. Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain?
The pain of prosopagnosia, right?
Another irritating insect.
How does he know that?
Because he
And
didn't
how do
tell
you know
us.
that?
Yeah, and Lotus didn't tell us about what it was either.
Yeah.
Good question.
No matter. If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me. This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go. First is 1. Give me your hand. 8. And with this, 9.
The ninth man. Kubota's bracelet.
I believe I've won this game. I've had quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, what? Ace doesn't know who Zero is. What the hell are you planning, Santa?
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape, and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending. I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye. Wait! What? Why isn't it opening? One more time. Now open! No! What is this? Why? That digital route should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Now!
No! Ugh.
Oh, that was close. Too close. Thank you, Seven.
Don't mention it. Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit. After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces. But if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good. Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat.
9 years ago? Then you must be...
Yeah, you finally figured it out, dumbass.
Oh.
Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you?
Wait, Nijisaki?
Oh, right. You don't know yet. All right. We'll just go through them in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into door 5 alone. You killed him without making it look like you killed him. The way I figure it, you had 4 motives. 1. In the Nonary game, the number 9 is dangerous. Whoever had the 9 bracelet could join whatever team they wanted. Adding 9 to any number doesn't change the digital route, which means that number 9 could do whatever they wanted. You wanted to remove that threat as soon as possible. 2. You wanted the number 9 bracelet for yourself, so that you could make use of its power. In fact, you did use it in the murder of Nijisaki. 3. Even if his number hadn't been 9, Kubota was a problem. He knew your past. He knew what had happened 9 years before. You needed to silence him before he told anyone. 4. But last, and perhaps the most disturbing, you used Kubota as a test. You wanted to know how serious this Nonary game was. Was it truly life or death, or simply a harmless prank? You convinced him to break the rules so you could see what would happen. That was why you killed Kubota. But he was only the first. Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing parts for the Reds, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, you didn't realize he was Nijisaki, chiefly because, when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not... That was Nijisaki? Why? How did...
I'll get to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake. Snake was one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid, but his presence made you think. Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me. But if that's true, why isn't he saying anything? Is he keeping quiet because he can't see? Or perhaps he's working with Zero to get revenge on me. Whatever the reason, anyone who knows my past is a threat. Before he tries anything, I need to get rid of him. That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the red. Verified your own number and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel. Then, when the door opened, you kicked him in. 9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead.
Then you mean to say... Snake is still alive?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm as good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man, but I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead. Although, to be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much.
Well, I wouldn't blame you.
Last but not least, let's talk about Musashido's death. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me. Do you remember what you said?
Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
I handed it to you, and you left the room. You had been in charge of the Nonary project. Of course you would have known the solution to every puzzle, which would mean that you also knew how to get out of the wheelhouse. All you had to do was place the watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, you could enter the captain's quarters. Musashido was there. Conveniently placed next to him was an axe that practically begged you to kill him with it. You picked up that axe and buried the blade deep in the other man's chest. One blow was all it took, and then you returned to the chart room as if nothing had happened.
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
I had no reason to say no, so I followed you to the wheelhouse. When we stepped inside, remember how you slipped your hand into my vest? You pulled out a piece of paper, the one I used to cheat during the vote. But that wasn't really what you were after. Your true purpose had been to slip the watch into my pocket. It wasn't a very good plan. It had way too many holes, and someone saying the wrong thing could have brought it all down around you. You must have been desperate. But what made you willing to risk it all to do it? Ace, Musashido's murder is the only one I don't understand. You obviously did it. But why?
Because of this.
What's with the paper?
Just read it.
Let's see.
I didn't even notice
Number
that
one.
he slipped the pocket watch back into our pocket.
Well, it didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are two ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the Nonary game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past. I have prepared a camera in the captain's quarters. The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world. Simply look into the camera and repent. Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confession more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps he will confess with you. The decision is yours. Do as you please. Zero.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I could get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least, that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first. That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning then? Musashido, I mean.
I only knew Musashido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters. I asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him. But yes, you are correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was. I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness.
Ace, you figured it out, haven't you? You were being manipulated.
Yes, so it would seem. I was little more than a puppet, in many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared. The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake. There was an axe in the captain's quarters. Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. But yes, this was a trap. It was Zero's trap. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I did everything he wanted me to do.
Yeah. By manipulating you, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this Nonary game happened. Am I right, Santa?
Huh? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know any...
Ain't no point trying to play dumb anymore, Santa. Actually, I guess I should call you Aoi Kurashiki, huh? My memory came back to me, kid. You're Aoi Kurashiki, no doubt about it. Never thought I'd be back in this room talking to you. But hey, I guess this was all part of your plan, right? After all, the person who planned the Nonary game this time around was Zero. And Zero's you.
Looks like you really do have your memories back, huh? Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it then, huh? Yeah, you got me. I'm Aoi Kurishiki. I was one of the kids in the Nonary game 9 years ago. I made it out. So did Snake over there. But there's one thing... No, I guess there's two things you got wrong. Number one, I ain't Zero.
What?
Wait, what?
Sure, I was helping Zero out, but I'm really more of an assistant, like a secretary. But an assistant's only an assistant. I didn't come up with all this. All I did was follow Zero's orders.
Then, if you're not Zero, who is?
Calm down there, Junpei. Didn't I say two things? You made one more mistake. Junpei, you just said all of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this Nonary game happened. But that's not it. Revenge isn't the only purpose. There's another reason you guys were playing the Nonary game. To save someone.
Save someone?
Right. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane.
What the hell are you talking about? Akane Kurishiki died 9 years ago in this room. I was there. I saw... What? What the hell? Where is she? Where's Akane Kurishiki? Ugh! Oh, my head! My head, it feels like it's gonna pop.
7! What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I just... Oh! I swear to God, my head feels like it's about to explode!
What was the Nonary Project? I'm sure you know already, but I'll tell you one more time. It was a project designed to test a particular phenomenon. And what was that phenomenon? For two organisms to communicate with one another in the absence of physical contact. The morphogenetic field theory. Could human beings use these invisible fields to exchange information? That was what this experiment was conducted to determine. There were two separate locations. One was the Gigantic, and the other was a building in Nevada called Building Q. The 9 children trapped in Building Q were faced with numerous puzzles, copies of identical ones on the Gigantic. They were told to send their answers into the morphic field set and transmit them to their brothers and sisters on the Gigantic. The transmitters were put in Building Q, and the receivers were put on the Gigantic. Each sibling pair was supposed to be split up, but there was a mistake. Akane was a transmitter. She should have been in Building Q. However, for some reason, she was placed on the Gigantic with the receivers, like me. Perhaps she was mistaken for someone who was supposed to be in Group A. Whatever the case, Akane ended up on the Gigantic. I think I've told you enough. You get it, don't you? I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, Junpei.
Where what is going?
Don't play dumb. You know things you shouldn't. Things you couldn't. How did you know Ace had prosopagnosia? How did you know why Ace wanted to kill Kubota and how Nijisaki was killed? Were you surprised when you found out Ace was Hongo? And what about the coffin Snake was trapped in? How the hell did you open it?
Well, that's...
You okay?
Yeah.
This is you.
This is me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. The allergies. He knew because I knew. Junpei was receiving information that I sent him through the morphic field set. It's simple, really. How do I know the alternate futures, then? Imagine a river that splits in two like an upside-down Y. The river flows from the top to the bottom, from a single stream into 2 branches. It only flows in one direction. It can never flow backward. Information is the same way. It moves from the past to the future, but never flows backward. That's why people at the river source in the past will never know about those downstream in the future. But the people downstream will never know about one another either. Information only flows along the path of the river. But I am different. I can manipulate the morphic field set to pluck knowledge from the future. I know what happens on either fork of the river, even though the people on either fork know nothing about one another. Now, who am I? I am I, the 9th letter of the alphabet. But I am also 0. No, that's not true. I'm not really 0. Not yet. Perhaps you could say I am less than 0. 0 is my future. In 9 years, I will be 0.
Where'd she go? June. No, Akane. Where did you go?
Santa!
Why is Clover... Oh, shit.
Freeze.
Santa's got the gun. I guess he picked it up when we weren't watching. Looks like he's turned the tables on Ace, though. Well, wonder how he likes having a gun to his head.
Get up.
Sure isn't about to take that gun off him for a minute, is he? Ace isn't putting up any kind of fight. I mean, I don't think I would either, but he just looks drained. I guess he's going for the door, huh? He doesn't need to verify to go through that door, but...
Hey, what's your plan, Santa? What are you doing?
You can't get through any numbered doors with just 2 people. What the hell is he thinking?
Didn't I tell you? I'm Santa Claus. It's time for me to go make a wish come true.
That's it? That's all he's gonna give us? What the hell does that even mean? Shit, they're out. And now the gate's shut. Looks like the rest of us are stuck in here. They're all looking at me. At least Seven's headache is gone. He seems to be alright. Well, I guess there's no harm in trying. Let's see if this door still opens.
Damn. Well, it looks like this door isn't opening anytime soon.
Oh, you mean we're trapped?
So it would seem.
What the hell is Santa trying to do?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, what?
Have you considered where we are? There can really only be one thing Santa would do now.
No. No, you can't be serious.
Oh, but he is. Shit, we gotta do something. Maybe we can still get out through door 9. There's the red. Yeah, alright, we can do this. I've just gotta... No, it's not gonna work. There's no way. The 5 of us can't open this door. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 equals 26. 2 plus 6 equals 8. Is there any combination that'll work?
Junpei, can I borrow your pen and notebook?
Sure, why not? I don't think I'm going to need them. I don't know why this isn't voiced. Ever again. Well, she certainly looks purposeful. Looks like she's writing equations. A lot of them. Huh? Oh, man. She doesn't look very happy. What? Hey, no need to be ripping pages out like that. Jeez.
What the hell are you doing, Clover? Give me that!
All right, at least 7 got it away from her. Maybe now I can get a look at what she was writing. Let's see.
What?
And there's no other way?
Lotus. Looks like she'd figured it out, though. Man, this is just too cruel.
It's okay. Go.
Lotus.
Come on, you know we can't do that.
Oh, don't give me that. I'm sure you'd love to get rid of me.
God damn it, you idiot!
Whoa, where the hell did that come from? Looks like she expected that about as much as I did.
Without... if you're not... Look, it'd be bad, all right?
For a cop, he sure doesn't have much confidence.
Bad?
Yeah. If there weren't assholes like you around, I'd be out of a job.
Uh-huh.
Look, I'm just not leaving you behind, all right? End of story.
7.
He's right. I'm not leaving you either.
Me too.
You didn't honestly think I'd abandon you, did you?
You're all idiots.
Act as tough as you want, Lotus. We can all see you're about to cry.
That being said, however, I doubt we would be able to open the door anyway, even if we were to leave Lotus behind.
Huh? Why?
I trust you remember what happened to Ace? I couldn't, see exactly what happened, but I was able to guess what he was attempting to do earlier at the Red.
Oh, yeah.
No! What is this? Why? The digital route should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Just to see, why don't we give it a shot?
Give it a shot.
Yes, that is what I said.
2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
You were right.
It ain't opening.
But it did open 9 years ago. The digital route was 9 then, I'm sure of it.
You think maybe they changed the settings?
Perhaps.
Shit. If we can't get through the door, we can't get out. The walls are way too high. There's no way in hell we could get to that hole 7 popped out of 9 years ago. All we can do is stand here and stare at this door with a 9 on it. I guess this is it. This is the end.
Akane vision.
So this isn't really something that's translated well to the PC version, but okay, the 3DS has 2 screens, right? Mm-hmm. Or the DS has 3. Yeah,
I'm
whatever.
with you.
There's one on the top, there's one on the bottom. So on the handheld version of the game, you had the portraits and the text on top, and you had novel mode on bottom. But here we have one screen, so the novels mode is overlaid over the rest of it, and you can switch between. But in the handheld version, you had both of them going on. So the twist here is that the novel, when you read the novel mode of things, that's Akane, and the top is Junpei.
Oh.
Yeah. So when it says Akane vision, novel mode is Akane's perspective.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay,
9
cool.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching. I had watched everything that was reflected in his eyes. I was listening. Every sound that vibrated in his eardrums, I heard. Smell, taste, touch. I felt everything he felt. I knew. I knew everything about him. What he was thinking, what he was feeling, what he was sensing. All of his feelings and worries and fears became mine. My mind, my consciousness, was inside of him. Through the morphic field set, we were resonant, and we were as one. I was him, and at the same time, I was an observer. It started with a tremendous noise like a clap of thunder. That was approximately 9 hours ago. A bomb had gone off on the ship we were on. That was when my resonance with him began. My resonant event melted into him and we became one, inside of Junpei. Somehow I found myself in Junpei's mind 9 years in the future. But I didn't lose myself. I was living in 2 realities at once. One was the present, and the other was the future. Perhaps you can think of it as 2 movies showing on the same screen at the same time. Eventually, it becomes difficult to separate them and determine which movie is which. However, if I concentrated, I was able to focus on one or the other. That was why I was able to grasp what was happening in front of me.
Come on, over here!
That was my brother, Aoi. He was yelling. I followed him.
You see those 2 kids right there?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's supposed to be Lotus's daughters.
Oh.
I could be wrong, but I mean, one of them's holding the other's hand. They're both girls.
Weren't they supposed to be twins?
Oh, yeah. One clearly is younger than the other.
Oh, well.
Oh, no.
We'll
That's
pretend.
Snake on the left, Santa on the right, and then there's Akane.
Around me were 7 other children. They all looked like they were about my age.
Come on, hurry up!
I bet she is one of the twins because the other one would be in Nevada.
Oh, yeah, and she looks like Lotus.
Yeah, she does. We ran down a long straight hallway and burst into the large hospital room. Everyone was arguing. 2 of the boys got in a fist fight. A girl watching them began to cry. "I want to go home," she cried. "I want to go home." Another girl slapped the crying girl and glared down at her. It had been 2 hours since the Nonary game began. We were starting to fall apart. But just when all hope seemed lost, Light started talking. He was blind. 9 years later, we would call him Snake.
Hello, everyone? Could you come over here for a moment?
He was older than most of us, and his voice had authority and dignity. The fights died down, and we gathered around him.
I have a little sister. She is very important to me. Right now, she is over in Building Q and is desperately trying to send information over to me. Her name is Clover, and today is her 9th birthday.
As he spoke, he pulled something from his pocket. In his hand were 9 4-leaf clovers.
I was going to give these to her as a birthday present. I was outside picking them when I was abducted. I'm sure I've already told you, but I am blind. For a man who can't see, collecting 9 of a very specific plant is, well, it is difficult. But my sister means a great deal to me, and I hope that these would show her how much I cared for her. Since it's her 9th birthday, I thought 9 4-leaf clovers would be appropriate. Every one of you has a brother or a sister in Building Q with Clover. For their sake, we have to survive. We have to get off this ship. Do you understand? If we're going to do that, there are 3 things you have to remember. We need trust and love, and we have to have faith in one another. If we can take all 3 of those to heart, then I promise that good luck will come our way. Did you know that the leaves on the 4-leaf clover mean faith, trust, love, and luck? Those words are leaf words. So if you believe what I've told you, and you understand, then I want you each to have one of these. They're a promise between friends.
He gave a clover to each of us. I took one too. Eventually, he was left with only a single 4-leaf clover. He had one last thing to say.
Now don't ever forget, so long as you have that, we will always be connected. Do you understand?
When he finished, the tension of only a few minutes before was gone. We were calm. After that, we ran around the ship for a while longer and opened several of the numbered doors until we finally found a door with the number 9 on it. In fact, there were 2 doors with 9 on them, and we found them in the chapel. We split into 2 groups and walked through the doors. Before long, we all found ourselves in a room with a ceiling that looked like an upside-down funnel. For some reason, this room had another number 9, but this time, it was the only one. But if there was only one door, that meant only 5 people could escape.
What are we gonna do? There aren't any other doors!
We began to panic. Then, as if things had not gotten bad enough already,
Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes. evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat, emergency incineration command has been acknowledged.
What? What's happening? What did that thing say? That didn't sound good.
My brother, Owie,
That's how they say it. I don't know.
swallowed hard and answered.
I think it means this room is gonna burn.
Burn!
The plaque on the door says incinerator, and that voice said that the incineration is about to start. And incinerate means to burn.
No! Help me!
Abject terror filled the room as everyone began to scream and cry. Every pair of eyes were filled with despair. Then, high up on the wall, a door opened and a man appeared. He was a huge, frightening mountain of a man, as large as a bear. 9 years later, we would call him 7.
Don't worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you.
The rest happened just like 7 had said it. The 4 of us who had stayed behind were saved by 7. We crawled through the vent away from the incinerator and slid down into the hall. We came out on the other side of door 9. On the wall opposite the door was a set of double doors. We went through those and began to run up the spiral stairs. As we ran, I led the way. Behind me were Nona, my brother, Snake, and 7. The other children, the ones who'd gone through door 9 before us, were up ahead. I could hear them cheering each other on. We ran and ran and ran. We leapt across as many stairs as we could and kept running. The stairs spiraled upward like a tornado. Eventually, I pulled ahead of the rest. Perhaps Nona had slowed them down. I didn't want to lose them, so I slowed down as well. I didn't stop, but I glanced over my shoulder from time to time to see if they had caught up. That was when I realized.
Oh no, where is it? Did I drop Jumpy's present?
I knew I'd had it with me when we passed through the vent. Then, had I dropped it as we slid out? I had to go back. I had to. But I knew I couldn't tell the others. They would stop me, I was sure of that. I didn't stop to think, I simply moved. I ran to the central hall, the room that connected to all the other areas of the ship. I hid in the shadows, and moments later I felt a rush of wind as they ran past me up the staircase. I waited until they were out of sight, and then I ran. I moved as quietly as I could, down and down and down. Finally, I reached the bottom deck. I ran into the hallway and looked around frantically.
There it is!
It was just where I thought it would be, sitting under the opening of the vent. I ran over and snatched it from the floor, but as I ran back towards the stairs, in freedom, the door to the incinerator opened, and a man stepped out. It was Hungo. Gentaro Hungo. 9 years later, we would call him Ace.
Ah, how wonderful to see you decided to come back.
His smile made my blood run cold. It looked mechanical, as if someone had simply pulled up the corners of his mouth.
Come with me. We must continue the experiment.
I shook my head, eyes wide. Slowly, I began to walk backwards. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Then I spun around and broke into a run. I felt Hongo's hand close over my left wrist.
I said, come with me.
There was an edge of insanity to his voice now. I pulled as hard as I could.
No! Stop! Let go of me! Let go!
I shook my body and flailed my arms, trying desperately to get Hongo to let go of me. But I was still only a child. I was no match for a man like Hongo.
Stop struggling, goddammit! Do as I tell you!
He heaved on my arm, trying to pull me into the incinerator. I screamed.
Help me! Somebody help me!
Then, suddenly,
Akane!
the door to the stairs flew open, and my brother burst out of it. Behind him came Seven and Snake.
Akane!
He cried my name again as he leapt toward Hongo.
You came back!
I cried out. But then,
Ah! You're too late, idiot!
Hongo threw his full weight against my arm, pulling us both into the incinerator.
Ah!
The force of it threw me to the floor. I scrambled to my feet and looked toward the open number 9 door. Hongo stood between it and me, but behind him I could see my brother, his fists clenched. But those fists never reached Hongo. With the cold, heartless screech of metal on metal, the door slammed shut. Hongo glanced at me mechanically, his face registering that there was an object there, but not anything he would consider a human being. Then he turned away and walked to the red that sat next to the door. He reached into his pocket and removed 2 bracelets. He waved them both over the scanner panel. 2 asterisks appeared on the red. He checked the screen, then tossed the bracelets carelessly onto the floor. What was he doing? What was the point? He made no effort to explain himself, of course. He said nothing at all and walked past me as though I were nothing more than a rock by the roadside. A few moments later, the 2 other doors slid shut as well. Faintly, I could hear someone pounding on the door behind me. I turned around and ran toward the door with the 9.
Akane! Akane! Are you okay?
I could hear a voice from the other side of the door. A worried, frightened voice.
Help me!
My throat was already raw, but I screamed as loud as I could. My voice echoed lonely around the empty room.
What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here!
Where's Hongo?
He went out the other door!
What?
Then it started again.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Incineration will begin in 18 minutes.
We're back in Junpei vision.
Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Oh my god.
Holy shit! Man, I knew what it was gonna say, but that is one hell of a creepy voice.
I knew it!
It's starting.
Santa started the incinerator.
Fuck! Man, I never thought I'd hear that damn voice again after 9 years.
What the hell? What the hell? What in God's name are you talking about? It's 9 years this and 9 years that, and when it's not 9 years something, then you're talking about some sort of fucking experiments. You aren't making any sense.
So she really doesn't know anything.
I'm sorry, Lotus, but we really don't have time to explain it right now.
Sorry, Lotus.
Poor Lotus.
You have no idea. I'm getting messages through the morphogenetic field right now, okay?
There's a lot going on.
I promise.
Give me a moment.
I'll tell you everything once we get out of here.
But
Incineration will begin in 17 minutes.
you know what that means, right? Incinerate means burn. What kind of idiot do you think I am? I know what incinerate means. Well, god damn it. Okay, fine. I won't ask anything else. Talk about whatever you want. But you have to do something for me. 7, figure this out.
What? Why me?
Just shut up and stop this thing.
How the hell?
There has to be some sort of emergency shut-off button.
There isn't anything like that.
How the hell do you know?
Because I looked for it 9 years ago.
Yeah, Lotus isn't happy about that. Can't really blame her. Wait. The floor. It's moving. What else can I say about it, but...
What the hell is that?
What is that?
What else could I say? The floor opened and a machine rose up out of it. It looked like a computer? At least it kind of did. There was a monitor, a keyboard, and a cross-shaped device of some kind. Something about the machine scared me, but I forced myself to walk up to it. I was terrified. Tears poured down my face. I wiped them off even as more took their place and forced myself forward. Finally, I reached it. I looked at the screen. It was blank. All I saw was my own frightened face staring back at me from the glass drenched in tears.
All I can see on this screen is a reflection of my own face. I'm looking kind of freaked out. I know I'm swaying like crazy, but seeing it kind of drives it home. Okay, Junpei. Just calm down, alright? Everything's gonna be okay. Gah! Man, I wish that thing would just shut up.
Incineration will begin in 15 minutes.
Alright, back to this thing. If it's only showing up now, then it's gotta be important. But what the hell am I supposed to do with it?
Hey, move!
Gah! Hey! We're all tense, lady, but that doesn't mean you gotta shove people around.
Okay, it's turned on. There's nothing on the screen, though. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. If there's nothing on here, how are we supposed to do anything with it?
Sure, I'll just push buttons. I'm sure that'll... Huh? Well, at least it's on now. Oh, what's on the screen, though?
What is this?
What's up?
It looks like some sort of puzzle.
It's got a bunch of numbers and letters scattered across a 5x5 grid. The numbers range from 1 to 8.
Do you think that if we solve this puzzle, the incinerator will stop? Yeah. Well, we can hope, right?
All right, puzzle. How do you work? Oh man, that goddamn voice again.
Incineration will begin in 13 minutes.
Shit, 13 minutes. Can we really do this? My heart feels like it's gonna pop.
My heart was pounding like it was about to explode. I stared at the puzzle on the screen. I was sure I had to solve it somehow, but I had no idea how. My connection to Jumpy had been gone for a while. His mind was gone. I couldn't get any more information from him. I felt the seconds tick by as I stared at the screen, completely lost. My cheeks felt hot as tears poured over them. Then I heard a voice.
Hey, what are you doing?
It was muffled. I turned around. Pressed against the window in the entry door was a face, a frightening, evil face. It was Hongo. How long had he been watching me?
Don't know what to do.
He was yelling, but his voice was still muffled.
It's simple, really. But I suppose I might as well tell you. Just solve the puzzle on that machine.
His laughter was muffled by the door, but it still tore at my heart like the claws of a vicious monster. I bit my lip and glared at Hongo, struggling to hold back hot tears.
You're a terrible person! I hate you!
Oh my! How could you call a gentleman such as myself a terrible person? That's not very nice. I'm quite fair. I don't use tricks or play dirty. You see? I've even left you a way out.
A way out?
Didn't you hear me? All you have to do is solve that puzzle. Do that, and you can stop the incinerator.
What's the point of stopping it? You'll only capture me and make me do this all again. I'm not going to listen to you. If you're just going to throw me back in here, I might as well just die now.
My goodness, haven't you listened to anything I've said? I told you, I'm a fair man.
Huh?
If you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will in turn activate. If this experiment is to deliver valid results, there must be a chance of success. If you succeed, you will escape.
The verification function of the red?
Then I remembered. Before Hongo left the room, he had scanned 2 bracelets into the red.
Ah, so you do remember. Right now there are 2 numbers in the red. The first is 1, and the second is 3. Say, Akane, what's your number?
I looked down at my left hand. The face on my bracelet showed a 5. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9! I ran to the door with the 9 on it. I grabbed the red and put my hand against the scanner panel.
You really aren't one for listening, are you?
I hear Hongo's muffled voice from across the room.
I've already told you, didn't I? Once you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will activate. In other words, if you haven't solved the puzzle, you can't enter your number. What kind of fool are you?
Why are you doing this?
You could never understand. You don't know what it's like to spend every day surrounded by monkeys. Now start the experiment. Solve the puzzle.
I can't! I don't know how!
Of course you don't. Isn't that the point? You understand, don't you? Access the morphogenetic field and find the solution.
I can't!
Then you'll die. You'll burn alive. It's gonna be quite hot in there in a few minutes. I imagine it will be very painful.
His horrible laugh echoed across the room, and even after his face disappeared from the window, I could hear it.
Incineration will begin in 10 minutes.
I was crying, great gulping sobs broken by hiccups that shook my body. I was terrified. I could feel my fear pressing down on me like a tremendous weight. Somehow, I forced my shaking legs to carry me back to the device. I stared at the monitor.
I can't. I just can't. There's no way. I can't figure this out.
What was I going to do? I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start. Fear scattered my thoughts, and all I could think of was how I was going to die. My palms were sweating, and my blood was boiling in my veins. It was hot. So hot. I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. My heart roared in my chest as if it would pound itself to pieces. I reached into my pocket. I wrapped my hand around the thing I'd come back to get. The doll Jumpy had given me. At least I had that. I held it tight with both hands and prayed.
Help me! Jumpy! Help me! Help me! Help me! Jumpy! 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 Please! Help me! Jumpy!
Akane?
Akane?
Who the hell is Akane?
Shut up! Just shut the hell up!
Seven and Lotus don't understand. I think Clover and Snake have an idea, though. Clover's looking at me, and I think Snake may have figured it out. No, it doesn't matter. They're in my way. Where'd she go? Maybe over here.
Akane! Akane! Can you hear me? Akane! Say something!
Fuck! Did something break our connection? I swear I just heard her. Shit!
Akane! Answer me! Akane!
Jumpy?
I spun around. I heard a voice. His voice. I looked around. He wasn't in the room, of course. But I had heard it so clearly. Like he was right there.
Jumpy!
I screamed as loud as I could.
Akane!
Jumpy!
That's her. She's there.
Then that means...
Akane! Akane!
Are you in an incinerator right now?
Yes, I am! How did you know?
I couldn't believe that he knew that.
Now I understand what Santa meant.
Right. There's only one way to help her. You were brought here to help my sister, to save Akane.
I think I get it now.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
Jumpy, we don't have time!
As quickly as I could, I told him that I had to solve the puzzle in order to stop the incinerator.
Got it!
And I do. I get everything now. And last, I finally understand what all this means. I know why the Nonary game was held today. I know why we were kidnapped and brought here. It was all for this moment. All of this was planned out to lead to this one moment. Oh my god. This is insane. I can't believe it, but there's only one possible answer. June is... Zero is... Akane Kurashiki. She recreated the history of the future that she had a glimpse of 9 years ago. She tried to save herself that way 9 years ago. No, she's trying to save herself right now. That means that there's only one thing for me to do. Even if this is all some sort of insane plan, I will save her. I will save Akane Kurashiki. I must save her, no matter what.
Incineration will begin in 6 minutes.
The voice reminded me of how much time I had left.
Jumpy!
Yeah, I know. Just hang on, all right? I promise I'll get you out of there. I'm not gonna let you die. I promise. So don't worry, all right? Just give me a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
My voice shook as I answered. It was hot in the room. It felt like my heart was on fire. 6 minutes or not, my heart burned with my feelings for him.
All right, time to get to work, Junpei. Is Snake talking to them about something? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Get out of my way!
Hey, what are you...
Just trust me, okay?
Sorry, Lotus. I didn't mean to snap, but there's a lot more at stake here than your pride. I'll apologize later, all right? Now, let's have a look at this thing. We've got numbers all over this grid. I think the panels are out of order. So I just need to switch these out? Staring at it isn't going to accomplish anything. I'll just have to try it.
Just think of what I did all those times before.
I'm gonna do this on my own, with my own mind. I'm gonna solve this problem.
Oh, we didn't get to do our head whippy.
No. So
the number 1 looks like that's the only one that's nailed down. Literally.
yeah. I'm not sure what this hint is. When I pressed hint, numbers appeared in the empty spots on the grid. They're all single digits. I get the feeling that the numbers changed when I switched out the yellow squares. But the square at the bottom, why does it stay blank when I press hint? Huh.
Okay, so it looks like... So like here, 6 and 3 equals 9 in the middle.
Yeah?
6 and 2 equals 8.
Mm-hmm.
So... But I don't understand how that would work.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some sort of...
I honestly can't really remember how this puzzle goes.
Do they have a timer on this?
No, they
That
don't.
would make
They
this
do not.
so intense.
They do not. No. I think... Hang on. Okay, so the numbers in blue, that's the digital root of the numbers in yellow around it. So like this is 9, right? 8 plus 6 plus 3
14.
plus 1 is 18. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's why if we were to swap something out, it would change some. Like if you took out the R.
Yeah. So like that's 11. So like, let's say we switch 7 in.
So are we trying to get all of them to say 9?
I think
That
so.
would make sense. Yeah. Okay. So we need to swap out all the letters, right?
I think so. And the
Okay.
letters look like they spell out something.
Yeah. It looks like it's gonna say something like password.
Yeah. So if it says password, and we just swapped R with 7, which was right here, it seems like the things that we swapped them out for are already
Do it.
pretty obvious.
Yes. 3
Might
and
be wrong.
S.
But I'm
Just
not sure.
try. Yeah, just give it a try. Yeah. And then 5 and W.
They're all 9.
We did it. We saved her.
Please enter password. So this isn't the puzzle that was in the original version.
Were we supposed to memorize the numbers that we just swapped out the letters with?
I don't think so. It's the password. I actually don't remember. The password's not password. Wait, what's
I
the
was about
password?
to be real upset. Can we go back to the thing?
No.
Okay.
This is probably really easy.
Hold on. So do we just need to figure out what letters were in the puzzle?
No, it's not something that we have to go back to get. I don't think. That wouldn't make any sense.
How else would we know the password?
I don't know.
Monophomorchic fields. I don't. Why
Monophomorchic.
can I never say that word?
Morphogenetic. So
Okay.
think of genetic field, morphogenetic field.
All right. What is it? The numbers? The 843.
There's no reason, there's no way we'd be required to remember that. I got this like immediately when I played, and I can't remember. June.
Akane.
Like when I got to this part, I was just like, duh, password? I'm inputting a password now then. Are there any hints? What the hell am I supposed to put here? We just need you to say that a couple more times, Junpei. Is it just 9?
Are you fucking kidding me?
It was just 9. 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus...
Yes, that's it. Akane, did you get it?
I don't know. We can talk about it later.
All right.
Yes, I did! I solved it! I mean, really, you solved it for me, but I copied everything you did! Now I just have to press enter!
They're real big on
What the hell are you waiting for? Push it!
clarifying that you have to press enter.
Okay, I will!
Girlfriend. I hit the enter key.
Emergency shutdown command has been confirmed. Incineration system has been disabled.
God, don't be standing on it.
Jumpy! It worked! It worked! The incinerator shut down! It worked!
Tears rolled down my face as I cried out to him, but they were a very different sort of tears. A wonderful feeling of accomplishment and relief flooded my body. At the same time, what strength I'd had left disappeared and I collapsed to the floor. For a while, I just lay there, laughing and crying and enjoying being alive. Every time I thought about him, I thought my heart would burst. Get to the red.
Whew. I can't quite believe I did that. But I'm so glad. So glad. I feel like my heart's on fire. Please stop making me narrate all of Junpei's thoughts. You didn't used to do this before. No, I don't have time to be thinking about that kind of shit. I need to tell Akane.
Akane! Sorry, but things are kind of busy over here. I'm gonna have to hang up now, okay?
Oh, of course, that's fine.
I wiped the tears from my eyes and nodded vigorously, even though I knew he couldn't see me. Then I looked over at the corner of the floor. There were the 2 bracelets Hongo had left behind.
Now.
Well, Seven and Lois don't look particularly happy with me. Not a very nice look to give someone who just saved your lives, guys.
Junpei, are you...
Okay?
Shut it.
Right. Okay, so maybe they have a reason to be pissed off. Oh, that was more like a right.
Yeah.
So what if I haven't pressed the enter key yet? All right, nothing holding me back now. Here goes. Wait.
Incineration will begin in 90 seconds.
The fuck?
It doesn't sound like it's stopping.
What the shit? Why isn't it stopping?
Okay, maybe I didn't hit the key hard enough. Just hit it again. And again. And again. Okay, that's not working either. The alarm's still going off. What the hell is going on? I've got all the right numbers in the right boxes. It's perfect. So why the fuck isn't this thing stopping?
Incineration will begin in 60 seconds.
Wait, of course. That's what the numbers that showed up after the puzzle means. 2 + 4 + 5 + 7 + 8. Snake, Clover, me, 7, and Lotus. Then 4, 9. No, that's it. That number on the door isn't a 9. It's not even a number.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that...
Holy shit. Of course. Then we just have to put the right number into the red and...
Incineration will begin in 30 seconds.
Run, guys! Get to the door! Run!
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Don't have much time. Man, I sure hope they can trust me on this one or we are all fucked. All right, no time to explain, just go.
Quick, verify your numbers on the red.
Verify?
Who?
What combination?
All of us! We all need to verify.
Why?
You really think this is a good time to ask questions? Just do it!
Hurry, 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 hurry.
Incineration will begin
Oh my
in
God.
10 seconds.
Oh my God!
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Central gate has been opened. Incineration system has been disabled.
Oh, thank fucking Christ. No time to be happy. Time to go.
Hurry! We've only got 9 seconds before the door closes. Go, go, go!
Come on, guys, move it. Okay, they're all through. Move it, Junpei. Just in time. And there goes the door. No, don't calm down yet. You're not done. We still gotta find the dead. Ah. They did it. They did it.
They did it.
Shit. Looks like we made it, huh?
Man, that guy sure can laugh when he wants to. Looks like Clover and Lotus are totally out of energy. Snake is shaking his head wearily. I just want to take a nap, but...
Akane? Akane! Can you hear me? Akane!
I want to tell her we made it. I want to tell her how good I feel. But nothing. Her number was 5 in the first one.
Mm-hmm. The door opened. Standing in front of it was my brother.
Akane!
Oi!
I cried his name even though my voice was almost gone from screaming and leapt into his arms.
Oh, oi!
Akane!
I buried my face in his chest and cried again. I cried and cried and cried. The steady thump of his heart in my ear made me feel like I was home. His beat was almost like a lullaby. I wrapped my arms around him as far as they would go and held him as tight as I could. Just to be there felt like a miracle. I hadn't felt the warmth of another human body in what had seemed like an eternity. I just wanted to stay there in his arms forever. But I couldn't. The moment I'd passed through the door, my bracelets had begun the countdown to death. I leapt away from him and looked around. The door had already closed. I spotted the dead only a short distance away. It took me only a moment to get to it and scan all the bracelets. I left the ones Hongo had dropped on the scanner panel. That was it. I took a deep breath and looked around again. The huge detective who we'd call 7 in 9 years and Snake, the blind boy, were looking at me. They seemed to have been utterly stunned by my sudden appearance. Their eyes were wide and their mouths hung open.
All right, let's get out of here. If we don't book it, we might run into Hongo again.
Aoi was right. It was time we get moving. The mention of Hongo seemed to jar 7 and Snake out of their surprise, and they nodded. We took off running up the spiraling stairs to freedom.
Time for more running. If they can get us out of here. No wonder we're running so hard. My heart's beating so hard I can barely hear. God, I can't wait to breathe real air again. Huh? Is 7 talking?
Hey, Junpei, can I ask you something?
What's up?
That door, the one with the 9 on it. Why'd it open?
Yeah, all 5 of us verified our numbers on the red. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 is 26. That makes our digital route 8. It shouldn't have opened.
That's not like you, Lotus. I thought you would have figured it out already.
Why?
Because you were the person who taught me about the idea of bases.
Bases?
Yeah. What are the 2 numbers in base 2?
0 and 1.
How about base 10?
That goes from 0 to 9, right?
And how about base 16?
0 through F. After 9, it starts at A and goes from there. B, C, D, etc.
You're right. In other words, A in base 16 is 10 in base 10. B is 11, C is 12, D is 13.
They are not
and so
having
on.
this conversation while they're
Oh,
running.
what about it?
You don't get it? What if we keep going with that pattern? What if you go way past base 16 all the way to base 27?
Base 27?
Yeah.
Well, the numerical digits are the same. So I guess you'd add alphabetical digits. E is 14, F is 15, G is 16.
H is 17, I is 18, J is 19.
K is 20, L is 21, M is 22.
N is 23, O is 24, P is 25.
Yeah, and? What comes after that?
Q.
26!
And what does that mean?
Wasn't a 9 on the door.
It was a Q! A fucking lowercase q!
Yep, that's pretty much it. I guess to put it another way, you could say that it was a 9 in base 10, but a Q in base 27.
Time for more running. God, my thighs are killing me. I swear, any moment now I'm gonna tear a muscle. I feel like every single cell of my body is dying for air. Damn, every breath I take is a chore now. I feel like my lungs are gonna burst. Maybe just a short rest. No, can't stop. Don't have time. Come on, legs, there can't be many more of these steps left. Let's run. Run! Like a bullet down a rifled barrel. Like a tornado cutting through a sea of clouds. I feel like we're running along the back of a giant, coiled dragon. Finally! Okay, they're panting.
We get it. Phew.
Jesus, I can barely breathe. Now, Junpei, no time to rest. Pull yourself together. You're almost there.
All right, I'm gonna open it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're finally here.
Please do.
Sure, you look like a big, heavy door, which are the only thing standing between me and my freedom. But even more important than that, you're the only thing standing between me and Akane. You're gonna open, and you're gonna open now.
I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was Aoi's. He gave it a small, reassuring squeeze. I was so happy I felt like I could melt. My heart was at peace. And not only because my brother and I were back together again. Thanks to the huge detective, all 9 of us who had been kidnapped were finally able to escape from the gigantic. On the distant horizon, we could see the faint outline of the ship as it sank. It gave a thunderous roar as it finally slipped beneath the waves. Its last cry echoed out across the ocean, and then it was gone.
It's over.
Aoi whispered.
Yeah.
It was over. It was finally over. Or was it? Was it really? No, that was wrong. That wasn't it at all. I was sure of it. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. This was only a prologue to what would happen in 9 years.
Yes, finally, air. Gah, damn, that sun is bright. I can barely see anything. Huh, gotta admit, this doesn't look quite like... Wait,
No way.
you have gotta be shitting me.
What?
It can't be.
This is...
They're in Nevada.
They're in the Nevada location,
I mean, they have to be.
because the gigantic sunk.
Yeah, I kept thinking about that. I was like, in
This is the
every
building in
scenario
the
that
Nevada
ship
desert.
sinks.
the mock experiment building.
Oh my god. This whole time we were in Building Q.
Sure enough, that's a desert out there with mountains all around it. Hello there, sun. Boy, am I ever glad to see you. I don't think I've ever been so happy to see a sunrise. Huh? Did I just hear something fall? Right, our bracelets. I guess I've never really got a good look at the underside of one of these. Let's see what's inside you. Just a little electronic chip, like in an ATM card. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing that even looks like a detonator. It was never a detonator to begin with. Figures.
Akane.
Jumpy.
Guess I must be pretty crazy about the girl if I think I'm hearing her voice in the wind. Oh, okay.
It's just taking its time.
Thought maybe it was frozen for a second. So, there is a post-credit scene,
Okay.
but we can talk about it until then. So what did you think?
It was much more satisfactory than I thought it would be.
Yeah. They answer every question, right? And not we can
Yes,
go through
except
it.
for the one that they introduced at the end, which is what happens in 9 years.
What do you mean?
The cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger?
When she's like, this is just a prologue.
Well, she was saying that because she was talking about the present. She was talking about Junpei's present. She knew that.
So she was talking from her child perspective, not her adult perspective.
Yeah, she was talking from kid Akane's perspective. She knew that since she had seen the future, that she would then have to become Zero and set it up that way in the future to save herself in the past.
Right. So her being physical and active in the present is either one of two things, right?
It's only one thing.
It's only one thing?
Akane's alive. She never died.
Because he saved her.
Because he saved her, and we can get into this more in a second.
So it's like a
but
time
this is a
loop
very common misinterpretation with the game.
Are you okay?
Oh, come on. This is nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't look okay.
It was just before the end of elementary school. Jumpy and I were sitting next to each other on a small hill looking down at the town as the sun slowly set.
How does it look then?
He was half serious and half joking. I thought about it for a minute first.
Well, let's see. It looks like you kissed a toad and got warts, but then they just kept growing and growing and growing.
What does that even mean?
Junpei grinned and...
Ow.
See? I told you you're not okay. You're too reckless. You can't beat 5 8th graders, Jumpy. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I couldn't just stand there. I mean, don't you think so? I had to do something.
Look at the Nevada desert go past. For an SUV, this thing has a pretty smooth ride. Sure was nice of someone to leave it for us outside the building. Keys in the ignition and gas in the tank. Almost like it was a present, you know? Anyway, we jumped in, and now here we are, screaming across the desert. Screaming across the desert. That's how you say it. Lotus is over there in the passenger seat. Snake and Seven and I are all squeezed into the back seat here. I still can't believe we let her drive.
Woohoo! This is so fun! This is so awesome! Driving is so great when there's nothing around, and there's no speed limit.
Hey, Clover, watch those bumps, all right? This car jumps even a little, and I think I'm gonna get crushed to death.
Hey, shut it. I can't help if I'm big, all right? Suck it up.
Why don't you drive, Seven?
I'm a cop. I ain't gonna break the law.
He doesn't have an international license.
Yeah, but you could have sat in the passenger seat.
Oh, hell no. There's no way I'm giving this seat up. And Clover, there's no need to slow down. The car Santa and June are in should be somewhere down this road ahead of us.
Yeah, I saw some fresh tire tracks going out. There's no doubt about it.
Then we've got to hurry if we want to catch them, don't we?
Sure thing.
Oh, shit! God damn it, she doesn't have to drive so fast. Man, I didn't even think a car like this could go this fast. We're sure throwing up a lot of dust.
It was a couple of hours after we'd run into that junior high students. They'd been hiding in the bushes on the back of one of the hills, drenching a kitten in gasoline. The moment we saw what they were doing, Jumpy ran up to them, furious.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Then he jumped on them. He quickly scooped up the kitten and tossed it to me. I caught it and ran for the police station as fast as I could.
Help me! Officer, please! You have to come with me!
The policeman and I headed back to the hill. All we found was Jumpy, sprawled on the ground with a face covered in big, swelling lumps.
You couldn't run away after you threw the kitty to me?
I asked him. He stuck his tongue out through the hole in his mouth where a tooth had fallen out.
Yeah, I guess I could've.
Then why didn't you?
I didn't want to. I wanted to beat him up. beat him up real good.
Because of what they were doing to the kitty.
Yeah, that too, but I think they were the ones behind those murders our first semester, remember?
Oh, you mean the bunnies.
Yeah, the bunnies.
He plucked some grass from the ground and tossed it into the wind.
They asked me what elementary school I was from, so I told them. And then they said they'd do the same thing to you that they did to the rabbits. I couldn't forgive them for that, so I... Hey, there's still some stuff I don't get.
Of course, they probably don't know any more than I do.
Like Ace. Well, I guess I should say Gentaro Hongo. Why did he create the Nonary project? Anybody? Any ideas?
Why don't you ask him yourself?
Well, yeah, I guess I could.
He's still in the trunk, I assume?
Yeah, he is. Still tied up, I'm assuming, with his mouth taped shut. His eyes just look empty. No emotion. Looks like he's just given up. Or if he even cares what happens to him anymore.
Hey, were you listening to us?
Yeah, go ahead and try to pretend you weren't, you old bastard. Let's get that tape off your mouth.
Come on, I know you were. Answer me.
You could at least look at me when you talk, man.
I only wanted to see the faces. Human faces. I thought if I could gain the ability to access the morphic field set, then perhaps I could see faces. By peering into people's minds, you could understand how they were processing the expressions of others.
That's it?
Yes, if you want to put it simply. But if you are looking for a more philosophical answer, I can supply that as well. You see, the human collective consciousness...
I think that's enough out of you, pal. Time for the tape to go back on.
All right. So what's your second question? You said there were some things you didn't get, didn't you?
Well, somebody's a little nosy.
Well, my next question doesn't really have anything to do with you two. This is for you, Seven. It's about the whole Alice thing. What's the deal with that?
Well, you see, 9 years ago, after I escaped from the Gigantic, I kept going after Hongo on my own. I catch him when I finally slipped up. During the course of my investigations, I learned a lot more about the Gigantic. I also found out about Bourdain and Alice.
You're not really answering my question. Was there actually a girl who wouldn't melt at room temperature?
Sounds like Hongo has something to say. All right, fine, I'll let you talk, but you gotta behave.
What?
Alice doesn't exist. 9 years ago, I found Alice's coffin behind the library on the bottom deck. There was nothing in it but the root of a peculiar plant. My research determined that it was a member of the genus Mandragora, of the family Solanaceae, and was able to extract a particular alkaloid from it. I used that extract to create Soparu. Its creation was a tremendous boon to my firm, and we grew rapidly.
Shit, this thing is gonna go on forever. Tape's going back on, Hongo. The rest of my questions can wait a bit. For now, I think I'll just enjoy the ride.
Here, this is for you.
What's this?
This is a for you doll. His name is Junpei.
Jumpy pulled something out of his pocket and shoved out his arm toward me. In his hand was a doll made of yarn small enough to fit in his palm.
Jumpy, are you sure it's, for you doll?
Huh? Yeah, the lady at the shop said so that means it's for you, right?
Are you sure it's not a voodoo doll?
Huh.
Wait, what? That's... Oh, man. Oh, man.
Well, it sure looks like a voodoo doll. I mean, you do know what a voodoo doll is used for, right?
Yeah, I guess calling it Junpei isn't a very good idea then.
Why are you giving me this anyway? It just seems really sudden.
You know how after June, we aren't gonna get to see each other too much? I mean, we're gonna be in different schools, and I just thought I'd
Oh, okay, well, how about we call it June then?
Okay. So, I wanted to give you this.
You sound like some sort of tribal chief in a bad movie.
Yes. I, head of tribe. This doll, traditional charm of tribe. So I give this. It me. So we always together.
Oh, Jumpy.
If something bad, then hold and pray. I go wherever you are. So here, take.
It's over, I think.
There's such a better way to do that than what they did. I reached my hand out and picked up the doll gently.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jumpy.
Before I knew it, I was crying. Tears streamed down my face and fell onto June's tiny yarn body.
Oh, Jumpy. I'll never forget you. I promise.
Jumpy looked straight into my eyes and said just 5 words.
I'll never forget you either.
The sky was a beautiful crimson red as it melted down toward the horizon. The last golden rays of sunlight stretched out across the city and painted themselves across the hills. We sat, bathed in the warm light of evening. Just the 2 of us, leaning gently against one another, shoulder to shoulder. The sun set, and we still didn't leave. We watched in silence as the darkness deepened, and one by one, the lights of the town began to flicker on.
There's still one thing I don't get. To be honest, it's the biggest mystery as far as I'm concerned, and also the only one that's really important. It has to do with June and Akane. 9 years ago, she died in the incinerator on the Gigantic. But she's still alive now, as June. But how? Was it because I tapped into the morphic field set and saved her 9 years ago? Alright, let's say that makes some kind of insane sense. If I did that, then how do I make sense of what Seven remembers? Snake makes sense, he's blind. He couldn't have seen her body anyway. But Seven, he said he was sure he saw it. Does that mean there's some kind of historical discrepancy? Or, wait, maybe that's not it at all. There is one other logical explanation. Was what you told me the truth, Seven? You look satisfied. No. No way. He couldn't.
Hey, look! Over there. There's somebody next to the road.
Huh?
What?
The burning gaze of the Nevada sun pounded down on her head. The desert around her rippled with heat. Standing there on that shimmering plain was a woman, her arm out and her thumb up. It would not be long before Junpei realized who she was. And that's what it says behind your head. Was it Alice?
It appeared to be Alice, didn't it? Right after he was talking about historical discrepancies. Interesting. So yeah, there's the rest of the ending. So the one on the left is the one that we just got, the true ending, the June ending. Right there on the flow chart. As you can see, it went way down. This right here is the coffin ending. The coffin ending is what you get if you decide to take this route before getting the safe ending.
Oh.
So you're not able to access the morphic field set. You can't get the combination to the coffin.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That makes sense. They'd have to have some sort of safeguard.
yeah. So yeah, but that was 999.
Jeez.
So you want to talk about it real quick? Are there any
Louise.
questions you have or? I will say the Alice thing and a couple others are not an open and shut case with this game.
Yeah. No, I'm starting to see that. Because at first I was thinking maybe, like, whenever, when they're all in the incinerator and June was like, I just fainted. Like, when they first all in the present got into the incinerator.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, so maybe, like, she's getting a fever because she burned up in here, which makes sense. And then I was like, but what if she, because I was kind of thinking this for a little bit, but I was like, it's kind of weird. What if she's getting a fever because she's thawing because she's Alice? And I was like, all right.
That's funny.
Let's pull our shit together here.
One thing that you may not have noticed is when we went through door 3 to the shower room where we found Snake's body, when Junpei went all jigsaw on everybody, there's a part of that where he's taking the thermometer off of the wall, and then Santa was like, you know, Junpei, sometimes fevers can be caused by something, or like something, sometimes temperature can rise by external factors and not just internal fevers, like, say, an incinerator. And that was his hint there, that the fevers that June was experiencing were due to the incinerator. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And Junpei really brushes it off, and he's like, yeah, I guess that would raise your body temperature quite a bit.
Yeah, I remember
being
that.
in an incinerator.
Like, all right, Santa.
And then, like, he looks back at Santa, and Santa's kind of mad. Yeah.
Well, what are you expecting that moment,
it was
Santa?
An early hint to what was going on. So every time June gets like a fever in the game, it's because usually it happens towards the end when you're getting a route that doesn't work.
Oh, so
because she's exploring all possible futures. In order to get to this one path right here.
So we're basically playing as her.
We're basically playing as June, yeah.
We're playing as June.
We're playing as June, inside Junpei's head.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's basically what the game is. And every time...
That is amazing. It makes so much more sense as to why you get to play all these different timelines.
Yeah. So that's basically the concept of the game, is that you are June.
Good.
You are
God.
Akane. Yeah.
Imagine trying to like pitch that idea to someone. So you're playing as this girl. Well, no, you're playing as the guy. But the girl.
You're playing as the guy, but really you're playing as the girl. Well, you're playing as both of them. Okay, so it's on the DS, right? So the top screen's going to be the guy. The bottom screen's going to be the girl. Again, that was like a big twist that wasn't able to translate to the PC version where it's all on one screen. I think they did a fine job, though. I mean, the game doesn't need that realization, but I imagine it enhanced the handheld version a bit. So,
that does kind of make me want to play it on the handheld.
Yeah, because the entire time, you know, anyway, you get it. A lot of misinterpretations I see of the ending is that June died. Like, June died in the fire, and then they have all sorts of questions from that. And June did not die in the fire.
No.
Because she saved herself in the future.
Right.
By setting up the Nonary game, having Junpei come there, somebody that she had a strong connection with that she could transmit to.
Right, because here they're basically saying that time is not linear. Time is not a circle. Which, isn't that part of what string theory is about?
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to get into all the time stuff. It's very simple to me. It's like a very simple time loop.
Yeah, like basically she can move in and out of time because of this
she has special abilities, which they were all handpicked for that. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of the misinterpretations I see of the ending arise from thinking that Akane died. Because there's lots of problems that come out of that. It's like, well, then how is she there in the present physically? Was she just an apparition?
Right.
You know, like, what's going on? She does actually disappear. Like, you remember...
in the incinerator.
In the safe ending, Yeah, in the safe. No, she doesn't disappear in the incinerator. She slips out when no one's looking. It's kind of a weak explanation, but
I like to think she disappears because that's the crucial moment.
Well, why would she disappear?
Because it's the crucial moment.
But
Because
then that
she's
would mean
existing.
that she died. No, I'm saying, okay, so like when she dies in the safe ending, when she disappears in the safe ending, because remember, Junpei's holding her in her arms, and then Zero comes over saying that they've lost.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Santa doing that.
Mm.
And then Junpei like runs out of the room, and he's like, "Where are you, Zero?" And then he comes back, and she's just gone. That's because she died. That's because
she was never there at that point.
Zero's plan failed. So then she would die in the future because she died in the past.
Right. She died as a child, so she disappears as an adult in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking in the incinerator that she would disappear because she is occupying the morphogenetic field as the child.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why she wasn't there. But I guess what you're saying makes sense. It is kind of a weak explanation, though.
I think that's the one that I read from the developer himself.
Yeah, where he's just like, we kind of like there's
we had to get around it. Yeah, but
there wasn't really a better
it's fine
way.
though. I think it's fine. The rest of the game, the rest of the stuff holds up. One other thing is like, so like the whole thing that Junpei said at the end about like, well, why does Seven remember her dying? I think it's just one of those things that, like he said, there's a historical discrepancy there because it was a period of time that had been messed with.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just Seven that remembers it differently. Like the newspaper said 16 kids, there's other things that indicate that she died, but clearly she didn't. Mm-hmm. But it's such a tenuous thread that like there's this kind of like flicker.
It's like a glitch
in space time, like kind of like a glitch.
Yeah.
Where some people remember one thing, or it could have happened some way, but not in others. Alternate timelines, kind of thing.
Which makes sense as to why he doesn't have his memory.
Yeah, and remember when so remember in the incinerator, there's a moment that's, I think I'm interpreting this correctly. Moment that's not really explained is when Seven was like, I saw her die, and then he's like, where is Akane? He's trying to remember seeing her body, and then he says, my head hurts, my head feels like it's gonna explode. That's because like his memory is like inconsistent with the pending reality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
and this
caught
is the
in
moment
between.
of decision.
He's caught between the timelines. Yeah, because at first I was thinking, is he connecting with her and he's feeling what she felt when the incinerator turned on? And I was like, that's fucking like brutal.
Yeah.
But
no, it's just
I think you're
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So
poor Lotus just having to like
Lotus
just be kept in the dark.
Lotus is probably the person I have a little bit of a why were you here? Because everyone else makes sense. Seven investigated, and saved the kids. Ace, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Santa and June, obviously. Junpei was there as a receiver for June solely.
Right.
And, they gave them the same bracelet number so that they could go through the same doors.
Right.
They, she had the doll with her as a connection between them. Just all sorts of, it makes sense. And then, like, Snake and Clover were there too. Snake was in. I think Snake and Clover were there as another transmitter receiver pair that could maybe boost the signal, so to speak.
And probably to help explain things as they were going.
Yeah. And also to unveil things, because it had to be set up specifically so that all that stuff would happen.
Right.
So they need to be there, the people there that give Junpei the information so that he realizes what he's doing at the end in the incinerator. Because otherwise, he won't do it.
Right. He's in the dark.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens in all the other endings. It's like they don't tell him.
Yeah, so he doesn't know
Snake
what to do.
and Clover don't tell him shit. One of them, Clover kills him. So.
Yeah. Which, like, Clover.
Yeah.
But it's because she thought her brother was dead.
So another question that I'm sure will come up is, you remember Snake's theory about how June's bracelet number was actually 9 and Santa's was 0?
Yeah.
Right? That's not true.
So that was a red
They're
herring?
Both 0. Both of their bracelet numbers are 0. Because if you remember, if you add 9 to the digital root, it doesn't alter it. So it's the same as 0, basically. 9 is the same as 0 when it comes to the Nonary game.
Yeah.
So both of their bracelet numbers are 0. So that's why hers
by default, his by because they said it that way.
I think they said it that way. I'm not really sure why they did it. They didn't have to, I don't think. But like door 4.
Yeah.
If you go through there, it's like Lotus and Junpei, right?
Yeah.
Or Lotus, Ace, and Clover if you go through door 5. That's a digital root of 4. Theirs doesn't matter. If they're both 0, it's still, they can still go through door 4. All the doors that they go through work with them both being 0. So that's never explained. I could have sworn it was.
You might have read something somewhere.
Maybe.
Yeah, because it definitely wasn't explained in the game.
Yeah, it wasn't explained, but a lot of people get hung up on the but I thought her bracelet number was 9. But it's not. Junpei said when Snake was saying that, he was like, something's not right with this theory. He doesn't revisit it, it looks like, but...
Right.
Yeah. And now, Santa isn't technically 0. He's Zero's assistant, but he's working with 0, so he has a 0 bracelet. That's how I interpret it, at least.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Because otherwise it's just... There's no other way it works.
I have so many questions about how this is going to progress from here, but I feel like it's unfair to ask them. So, shall we talk about future, or was there anything else you wanted to discuss in this game?
No, I'm pretty much good, I think. Oh yeah, do you want to talk about just what you think about the game overall?
Yes. 2 thumbs up.
Kimmy likes it. 2 thumbs up from Kimmy.
Oh, you're right. Was I too low?
Yeah.
2 thumbs up.
Can't say Kimmy flipped you off.
I did not.
Kimmy flipped you guys off.
Oh my god.
She did. She
Would I
said
do
2
that?
thumbs up and she gave 2 middle fingers. She was trying to punk y'all.
Oh my god.
They need to know. They deserve to know what you did. She's laughing because it's true.
That was just so funny.
I threw her under the bus. That bus ran you the fuck over just now.
Great. What were we talking about?
Oh yeah, 99 as a whole.
I really liked it. I enjoyed a lot of aspects about it. I liked that it was more serious.
It was more serious. It's more serious than Danganronpa, yeah.
Yes, I liked that it was faster paced. I did not like all the repeating of everything, which was a bummer. I mean, I get it, especially with I think I would have appreciated that a little bit more had I been playing it by myself without you here being like, okay, so don't you remember this? Things like that. Yeah. Excuse me. So I think for playing on your own, that's good. But when you're playing with a friend or watching a video, makes me a little frustrated.
Are you excited to play the other games in the Zero Escape series?
Yes. Are they continuing the storyline? Is June always 0? Is Alice going to be a big thing? I know those are my questions.
The only thing I will say is that the sequel, which we will be playing, Virtue's Last Reward, is very different from this, but it's good.
Okay.
I think it's better than this. I'm not done with it yet, but I like it a lot.
Okay. We talked about how I was wrong about the end. Yes. Okay. Never mind.
As far as so when I finished 999 for the first time, I was like, that was good. When I finished it all the way through the true ending and everything, and I still think it's good. I like it, but I'm I guess I'm just a Danganronpa boy. I don't know what to say. There's something about that game series that just gets me right here. I don't know what it is. This it's good. It's really good. It's very serious and logical, and I think the overarching story is more calculatedly put together, and it kind of fits together more cohesively, and it has a more touching.
I respect that so deeply. The writing for this was amazing.
Yeah. No, I like that about it, but it's just, I don't know. It's no V3, but it is the first game in the series. I don't know. I haven't beat Virtue's Last Reward yet, and that one's shaping up to be really good. So
yeah.
But yeah, this didn't really, I guess, hit it too hard for me. I like it. It's good, but it's not like a favorite. And I've had to play it all the way through twice now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I did like it more the second time, I think. Like, in terms of noticing things I didn't notice before. Because there were a couple of times when I was like, oh, don't say anything. You know?
You're like, oh my gosh. Oh.
There's a couple, like, foreshadowing events. I can't remember them now that I noticed. But, so if you liked this game, we will be playing the next, at least the next one. Maybe the next two.
You have a question mark about that?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'm excited to play the second game.
Cool. We'll see you guys then.
Think critically.